Hey guys, nothing important here, and today I'm here to deliver a debate that happened between I and someone else a couple days ago on the topic of the Hunter versus Lone Wanderer. Anyways, so I'm gonna spare you the sob story. I was pretty annoyed. I had to wait 3 weeks. I decided to stop holding back when the debate came around, so I was pretty much bloodlusted for the entire debate. Anyway, it's about 57 minutes, so I'll just let you get to the video now. So, enjoy, I guess. Okay, so, what's up, guys? If you're on the island of Verity watching this, my name is Nothing Important here. Me and Brawler debating today. It's going to be the Hunter from Destiny 2 versus the Lone Wanderer from Fallout. And the rules here, we are invoking the rule of relativity, which means I have to keep my character close to Brawl and Power, which means if I argued a measurable speed feat, it would only be light speed in the context of if we both were to cap at light speed or something, as an example. So, anyway, Brawl, do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Yeah, okay. Hey, it's Faithful Ball. I've been on here a lot. I'm getting back into like debating in general, and I guess I'll be the. I guess since we're doing the relativation, I guess I'll be the one to start, so like we can like start off the relativation. Okay,
Yeah, so first off, I already said I'd steelman your AP and speed and shit way before we debate this. So, just what tier are you looking to argue at?
let me just check this again.
It's just give me a tier. Give me a tier. Give me speed. That's it. That's all I need.
Do you want to judge?
Yeah, sure. I could go for an extra judge.
Alright, I'll do judge well, you know.
Alright.
Hey, what's the
Just
topic?
pick a tier, bro.
Okay, so we're going to be going to multi-city. We're going to be going to city block level and light speed.
Okay, that's fun.
Do I post the stuff again?
No, I already said it's steel menu. I'm already fine with steel menu at light speed or fast and light, wherever you want, and like multi-city block or city block, where the hell you put the cap at.
Do you still want to like see the stuff?
Nah, I'm just gonna steel menu. I just said that. Okay, so do you want me to provide proof of the hunter scaling?
You sure you just want to steal, man? Because I mean, I can show it to you.
Yes.
I have it pulled up.
Yes, I will steal menu. We made this arrangement 3 weeks ago. I already said then I'd steal menu. I'm still gonna steal menu. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want me to provide proof of scaling for the hunter? Brawl?
Actually, wait. If you don't exactly know like what the feed is, how can you scale relative to it if you don't have how much it is?
How stupid are you? No, listen, no. I said I'd steelman fucking everything. That means I'm steelmanning everything, okay? That means you already have light speed and you already have city block, whatever the fuck, okay? How fucking stupid are you to not understand that 5 times over? God damn. Okay, listen.
I'm just making sure.
Okay.
I'm just making
Okay.
sure.
Okay, so I asked you like 3 times now. Do you want me to provide proof of hunter scaling?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the hunter should at least scale the sleeper simulant in speed due to the fact that the hunter scales the oryx. Here. Oh, here, I'm gonna drop it in which scan zone? Where's the scan shit? Hold on. Alright, I'll drop scans
Drop it
here
in
in
zone
zone 1.
1.
Yeah, zone 1. Okay, so first I'll just drop what sleeper simulant is. Hold on. Fucking iPad. Okay, zone 1. Here. This is Sleeper Simulant. It fires. It stayed verbatim to be a laser, so it should at the very least be light speed. I have more stuff for this. Since I'm argued Oryx, I'll just Oryx boss fight Destiny. Oryx just directly scales above Sleeper Simulant in speed, and the Hunter was clapping around Oryx when they fought way back in Destiny 1, like 6 years ago. Okay, so is there agreement on my speed, or do you have to go over it and whatnot? And don't mind the DPS thing, it's just to show that Sleeper's a laser.
Okay. How can you like be sure it's not like sub-relativistic?
Because it has to be stated to be relativistic in order for it to be relativistic. I mean, light is light. You'd have to prove that, like, somehow the Hunter can move slower than it.
But it's
You want
equal
more
to...
evidence?
Yeah, like, can I have, like, one more, like, laser thing?
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Here, it's stated verbatim, and the Sleeper Simulant lore is that it's basically this over-penetrating laser. Here, let me go find the Sleeper. Fucking. I'll just do this my way. I'll just screenshot my Sleeper.
Okay.
So is there any contention with Orcs scaling above Sleeper Simulant? Is there a contention with me arguing that Oryx scales above Sleeper Simulant?
Not really. I don't know enough about that.
Okay,
In that.
Alright, now I'm about to drop a screenshot of Sleeper Simulant's perks. It's from it's from one of the Destiny 2 apps. Here, it's stated verbatim that Sleeper Simulant is a laser that overpenetrates and refracts off hard surfaces.
I mean, like reflective hard surfaces?
It refracts and moves off surfaces. Yeah. Okay, think of light, and then it's super condensed to the point that it's more or less physical. But it reflects, much like how light would off a prism, mostly.
I get what you're saying, so it's light.
Okay, think of the Death Star. Okay, now think of Sleeper Simulant.
I know what you're saying.
Gotcha, okay. Alright, now do you want me to provide proof of AP scaling?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is easy. Okay. So, the Guardian blatantly scales above the Wardcliff Coil rocket. That's planet level, but of course, since we have a much lower cap, we'd be only arguing that to be city block. So, let me get the Wardcliff lore. Wardcliff. Okay, here we go. Alright. Oryx also has better feats than the Wardcliff. So like we can just argue Oryx above Wardcliff as well. For AP.
Okay.
Okay, so is there a contention with any of my scaling?
Nah, it's good.
Okay. Alright, do you want to start off with a win con, or do you want me to start off with a win con?
I want to like go over something like before we like do the win con. So
Okay, go for it.
okay, so like since we're using like weapons, I think it'd be better if we just like use more powerful weapons from the start to like make it go by a little easier.
You just do whatever you want, my man. I'm just trying to get through my AP and speed so we can move on to hacks and shit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we can move on to like win cons now. Is what I meant.
Okay. You want me to start off with the hunter?
Yeah, I went first, so you can go first this time.
Okay, so the hunter has a super called Silence and Squall. The argument here is that, well, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad. Anyway, the argument here is that the hunter is just gonna freeze and kill your character repeatedly.
How does the gun do that?
It's not a gun. It's a hunter ability. Basically, your
it's a
character is
perk.
gonna get frozen, and then after that, they're gonna get shattered.
Oh, it's a perk.
No, it's a subclass.
It's a subclass. What do you mean by subclass exactly?
A subclass is a class's class for that element. So, for example, you have the three classes: Titans, Hunters, Warlock, and then you have the three Arc, Solar, and Void subclasses to each of those classes. Like, you know how you play Final Fantasy and you take on a job, and some jobs are like locked to like this race or this class?
Oh,
You get what I'm saying, bro?
yeah. I've never played Final Fantasy, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, so the Revenant is just a subclass for the Hunter using stasis.
Oh, it's a passive ability.
Did you hear me speaking or no?
I hear you speaking, but like, is it a passive ability?
Okay, did you hear what I said in the last 10 seconds?
I heard what you said. You said it's like a class ability.
Okay, so falling on after that, it's not like some passive, oh, you go near me, you freeze. It doesn't work like that, right? No, not like that. No. The hunter just jumps in the air, grabs his stasis commas, and freezes your ass to hell. That's it.
Oh, he jumped in the air, grabs his stasis commas, and he freezes you.
Basically what happens, he throws one, you get frozen. The hunter then throws the other, which is Squall, and that summons an ice tornado, and it's going to freeze you and repeatedly damage you.
Also, it's a two-way thing. Does he need to throw the stasis one first?
They're both stasis. It's just one of them is an explosion of ice, the other is an ice tornado.
Oh, okay. I was confused on that.
Yeah, if you watch the video, you'll notice that the hunter jumping in there, when they use Silence and Squall, they're just throwing one comma to explode the enemies, / freeze them, and then the other one's thrown on the ground to act as an independent damage-dealing tornado of ice. Wait, am I too loud?
Hey, not too
Anyone?
loud. I just had to sneeze.
Okay.
You like show me the video?
I'm just looking to make
of it?
sure, because I just set up my stuff. So I don't have a setup in my room over here yet. So sorry if I am too loud. But,
No, it's fine. You sound good.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so like you say, you
So
have
is
to
there
jump
anything-
up first.
He doesn't have to jump up first, it's just the hunter does that to get more accuracy with his throws. Like he would with like a grenade launcher or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thing is that while he's pulling out the grenade, the lone one will just activate bats and shoot the grenade in his hands.
Okay, so the hunter has a glacier grenade. It can just throw on the ground to block your attacks.
To block the attacks.
Yes. It's going to hit a wall, and then the ice is going to shatter, and then your character is going to be massively hurt.
How would he do that while he's moving slowly, though?
Because your character just has to damage, if not full-on destroy the crystal, and then it's going to explode, and then your character is going to take a lot of damage. And it's a fucking grenade. It can be thrown anywhere. At your enemy, at their feet, behind them, wherever the hell.
I mean, I know it's like a grenade, but he's shooting it while it's still in, like, the hunter's hands.
How do you know the grenade in the hunter's hands before they threw it? He doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Wait, repeat that sentence? You kind of blacked out of it, though.
How would he know to destroy the grenade before the hunter threw it? He'd have to know that the stasis glacier grenade would damage him before he'd be motivated enough to shoot it.
He's about to throw something dangerous at him. Why would he not shoot it?
I'm just thinking like he'd have to know to shoot it.
He'd have to
He's not
know
gonna know
to
what the
shoot
fuck it
something.
is.
Is someone? Isn't he attacking him right now, though? Why would
No,
he
the hunter
take
is
that
just jumping in the
chance?
air from the start and freezing you. The grenade is just for
Thought you said
any
he-
attacks that your character throws before the hunter can actually do anything else besides silence and squall.
You said he didn't have to jump up in the air to do it, though.
He doesn't have to. But he's gonna do it anyway.
Oh, if he's gonna do it anyway, then he's jumping at him with a grenade-like object about to throw it.
No. Okay. So you know how I mentioned the stasis ice tornado thing?
Yes.
Okay, well once you throw that tornado on the ground, it's gonna go toward enemies, including your character. So the hunter is gonna have enough time to just throw down a glacier grenade before your character does anything. Because either the first stasis comma will just massively slow your character, including draw speed or handling speed. And then the second one is going to flat out freeze and constantly shatter. And essentially kill the enemy over time. The tornado acts on its own. It's just going to go to enemies and kill them if it can.
Okay. I mean, I'm not doubting that his abilities can do that, but I'm saying he'll be moving too slow, and by the time he knows what's happening, he'll have been hit with the grenade because it would have exploded in his hands.
No, the grenade is just a the grenade is just a counter to any win con you got. The grenade's mostly thrown as a reaction. It's a defensive tool.
A defensive grenade.
Yeah, you throw down the glacier grenade, and then a wall of stasis ice pops up that separates you from wherever you threw it in front of you to not die from.
Didn't he need to throw it to begin with, though, to put that barrier in front of him?
Yeah, but your character's gonna be too slow to do anything about the grenade because he's either frozen or massively slowed by the first comma, and then once the second comma is thrown, it's pretty much too late at that point. The Silence and Squall super can one-shot other Guardians.
Can you show me can you show me a video of this working so I have a visual representation?
I literally dropped the fucking video right there.
Oh
Destiny
wait,
2, Beyond Light, Hunter Revenant, gameplay trailer.
versus that. Wait, where did you drop it? I can't see it.
Zone 1.
I apologize. I just thought we were putting them in. I looked in zone 1, but I didn't see anything there. Well, I apologize for that, man. I wasn't. I should have paid more attention to that.
Yeah.
Is it? I do apologize for that. That was my mistake. Okay, so this whole thing. Okay, let me see.
Yes. All the hunter's gonna do, he's gonna throw one comma, and he's gonna throw the other comma. The comma's gonna form a tornado, and it's gonna constantly freeze and shatter you.
Oh, I saw it. So he like slows this little thing and it creates this like field of ice.
Yes.
Oh, that makes more sense. I apologize for not noticing it before I.
Okay.
Okay, so that moving on from that.
So, is there any contention with the WinCon?
Yeah, yes, because I saw that while he did throw it, it was going a bit slower than most projectiles would.
Yeah, well, your character is going to be hit by the first comma anyway, so he's going to be too slow to avoid the second one.
How do you assume he's going to be hit by something first that will be too slow to avoid it the second
because
time?
the first comma has a massive area of effect range of about 20 meters at least around it. And then what happens is it's going to explode. Your character's just frozen. That's it. They're in a block of ice. They're frozen. And if they're not frozen, then they're massively slower.
Does the field appear before it hits him? Because like.
So Silent Squall's a two-part super. It's like this. The hunter jumps up, throws the first comma, it explodes, and everything around it, and the explosion just gets frozen. And then the second comma is thrown, which is called Squall. Squall is an ice tornado that's going to constantly slow, freeze, and shatter you.
Oh. One keeps you in place and the other shatters you.
No, they both do the same thing. It's just one of them's an ice tornado.
Okay. My counter to that is still. My counter to that is still the counter to that is still VATS. Because the minute he would to throw the first one that would keep him in place, he would already be shot because VATS slows down. It would slow him down in the perception of time.
They're at a roughly equal speed. You're seriously gonna go and tell me that, like, your character after he gets hit by the first is gonna somehow be fast enough to react to the second? When you saw what happened in the trailer clip?
I'm saying he wouldn't get hit by the first to begin with.
And I'm saying that the area of effect is simply too wide for your character to avoid. They are at roughly equal speed. There is no way your character is moving fast enough away from the hunter to mess with his accuracy to somehow get out of the explosion of the first comma. Your character is just going to get frozen. The area effect is simply too wide for you to avoid.
Oh, the area of effect would catch him no matter if he was, like, using bats to get a hit off on.
Okay.
That basically, like, what you're saying, like, even if he would use bats, he would still be caught because the speed is equal and the area of effect would be too big for him to move out of.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, so how much damage would the ice tornado do, like, if it were to, like, hit him?
It's gradual over time damage. The super skill's somewhat above the hunter, so I'd give your character about 20 seconds max, 30 seconds before they finally die of, like, hypothermia or something.
20 seconds. Oh, so it kills them over time?
Yeah, see, okay, the ice tornado does three things. It's tracking toward you, and then the second part is you get slowed, if not outright frozen by the tornado. And then you're going to take damage over time because you're stuck in that tornado. You can't move, you can't get out of it. That's kind of how it works.
Making sure. Well, in that case, the minute that the hypothermia would even start to set in, the nuclear anomaly report could just activate and get him out of it.
What's the nuclear anomaly?
Okay, wait, hold up. Let me read it. The nuclear anomaly perk is basically when his health goes below 20, it basically is like a miniature nuclear explosions, similar to like the mini nukes he has.
Okay, so you agree nuclear activity works on a subatomic level, right?
Nuclear activity works on a subatomic level.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so what's going to happen is that the ice tornado is simply going to freeze the explosion before it happens, because it works at an equal potency as the nuclear anomaly.
It works on an equal opposite. What?
Yes, the explosion will simply be frozen before it just happens. All it's going to happen is you're going to cause a big boom. The thing is, in order to make a bomb go off, it has to have a atomic or subatomic trigger, more or less, right? Ignoring machinery and whatnot and the A-bomb and blah 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 blah, what the hell. More or less, that's how explosions work. So like the squall or the ice tornado, if the first comma doesn't, it's simply gonna freeze the explosion so it doesn't happen.
How are they on equal? How is the ice blast and the explosion equal though?
Because stasis works on absolute zero. See what happens. Okay, so normally what happens in a state of absolute zero, more or less, your cellular or your subatomic activity slows.
Slows to a crawl.
Right.
I know what
Right.
what absolute zero does.
But stasis has no such limit. Stasis will freeze all of your cells, atomic, subatomic, however way you want to argue it. Those are just going to be frozen. All because of the first or second comma.
Oh, stasis works better than like Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Can you show me like an example of that being the case?
Sure. It scales above the light. Yeah, let me go get a video of this. Question. Here. So what's happening is that the Guardian's using the light, and I'll drop this clip right here on my iPad. Okay. So it's like... Can you hear me? Where's my mic being doo-doo?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes when speaking, I'm noticing that my mic, or like my speaking light isn't popping up sometimes when I speak, so I'm just making sure. So, anyway, what's happening here is that the Guardian forces Aramis back. Aramis, who hasn't actually mastered stasis whatsoever, manages to freeze the MC, and does it intentionally on a gradual level.
Usually, say that again. He freezes the MC.
Okay, so in the clip, what's happening? We force Aramis back, then we get ready to use an arc lightning slam, and then Aramis just freezes us, including the light. We know it froze the light because Ghost can't get us out of the stasis ice, which is also shown in that clip verbatim.
Oh, wow. Light works on like a subatomic level.
Yes, you agree lightning in general works on a subatomic level, right?
Is this a lightning?
Yes. Arc. We were about to slam Aramis with an arc lightning attack, and then we got frozen in our tracks. Mind you, Aramis scales massively below the MC in stasis usage as well. So,
That's actually impressive, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so where's the timestamp where this happens?
Hold on, let me go and see. Yeah, let me go check the video. It's been a second. It's about... Okay, go to 10 seconds.
Good. He's frozen in place. And Ghost is saying he can't help him.
Yeah, Ghost is saying he can't help him. Mind you, okay, think of ki/chakra. That's the light.
Emitting from his forehead?
What?
He has some light emitting from his forehead.
Yeah, so, Ghost couldn't get the MC out of the ice, which is important because Ghost can also channel the light. But Stasis just flat out power nulled the light, basically.
Broke out.
Yeah, because we learned how to use Stasis on our own. That's why.
Oh, his stasis is stronger than hers.
Yes. See, the MC... Okay, it's like this. Stasis has about 4 or 5 different seals, okay? You have to unlock Stasis to use it at its full power. It's essentially a layer/power game with it. Not so much layers, but there's layers of power to Stasis.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So how long would this stasis effect last?
Game mechanics put it at like 5 seconds. But unless you have a way to like unfreeze from the conceptual equivalent of a glacier, you're pretty much stuck there.
Oh, it lasts for a limited time.
It would last for a limited time, but I'm pretty sure a glacier does not unfreeze in like 5 seconds. That's a game mechanic in the game. Dude, in PvP, you only get froze for like 1 or 2 seconds.
I just since like it only lasts for about a few seconds, I just say that this would just say that he would be able to like survive.
No, the game mechanics limit it to like a few seconds. That's a game mechanic. No, an actual fucking glacier is not gonna like somehow go back into the ground and unfreeze after just 5 seconds. That's not how glaciers work.
So while he's in stasis, he'll basically be frozen into like a glacier.
Yes, more or less. You're gonna be frozen, and there's no way to escape it.
Wait, so is this? Wait, so this? Okay, I get. Okay, so he's gonna be in stasis and then frozen. So does that mean the stasis is off when he's frozen in the glacier?
No, stasis is always active once it hits you. It's just game mechanic wise, it only works for a few seconds. Because that's a game mechanic. It'd fucking break the game if it was any longer than 5 seconds.
And once he's in the glacier, he's gonna shatter him.
Yeah. The glacier is going to shatter and your character is going to take a lot of damage. And your explosion won't happen because the explosion will have already been frozen.
That is a difficult thing. That is
hell, if it doesn't work, the hunter can always just throw another silence and squall. Shit.
I was just thinking because I was gonna ask you if he could like spam this.
Yes. Game mechanics limit us to about 5 minutes or less on supers. However, we see in the lore that like there's no such limitations in cutscenes. So lore-wise, we don't have a 5-minute timer between supers. We can just go into another super. Let me get you an example.
I mean, like, I know what you're saying. Like, lore-wise, they can, like, abuse these abilities more.
Yeah.
So you said, like, that the nuclear anomaly would be canceled out by the stasis because it works on a subatomic level?
Yep. It does. Here's an example. Ikora Ray drops a Nova Bomb, then immediately goes into Nova Warp right after.
Oh, wait, doesn't that mean that if the
Ikora Ray
nuclear
also-
anomaly doesn't that mean that if the nuclear anomaly book was stronger, it would be able to, like, break out of it?
No, because your character would die, shattering the ice forcefully.
Why would he die from shattering the ice?
Because shatter damages your very cells. Okay, think of this, bro. Say you, like, walk through, like, cracked glass, and it's, like, in a room around you, okay? You're gonna be taking a lot of cuts and scratches and whatnot from glass, right?
Oh, this ice shards would hurt him if he were to, like, shoot out of it from the inside.
Yeah. Now, imagine
just-
an eternally painful paper cut in the form of stasis.
Wouldn't the blast just push all of the shards away because it's happening from within?
No. Stasis explosions damage, if not outright kill enemies. You saw the trailer. Hordes of ads were just getting shafted by that squall.
Wait, doesn't that mean that he took damage when he was, like, breaking out of, like, the stasis thing?
Yeah, the MC did. But then we learned how to use stasis.
Okay. Nuclear anomaly
It
book
no
also
longer
heals
hurts us
him.
anymore, actually. At this point, it no longer hurts the MC. So.
Okay, so even if I did make it more powerful, it would still hurt him because of the stasis field explosion.
Yeah, so it's like this, okay? So when an explosion triggers, an explosion doesn't have a durability. It only has a certain amount of power it can output. But if the cells, or so to speak, the anatomy of the explosion were to be frozen and disrupted, then it just won't happen at all.
Wow, this is a really multifaceted attack. Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out. What'd you say? Still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened?
Bro?
I can hear
I'm not
you.
quite anyone in the VC, am I?
No, I can hear
we
you.
can hear you guys. We can hear you.
Okay, I was just
Awesome,
wondering
good
because,
to
like, he cut out. Okay, good. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes,
perfectly
for
fine.
better or for worse.
Okay, that's good. So this is like a really multifaceted attack.
Yes. Your character is just gonna die to stasis.
Okay, Okay, then the new thing. I don't see argue he could survive. I don't see argue he could survive the stasis due to his various amounts of damage threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, what damage threshold does is that it was this the damage dealt to him.
Does it work subatomically?
Does it work?
Does it work subatomically? Can it defend him subatomically?
Yes, because it work. Yes, because it does work. Yes, because this does work unlike the energy, because it does have also energy for damage resistance as well.
Okay, it just mean it'd take a little longer for the squall to kill the enemy. It wouldn't mean you wouldn't be able to avoid getting frozen or whatever. It just, even if you don't die from that first silence and squall, the hunter's just gonna throw a second one. That's it.
But that's just like the thing. Someone was already seen him throw it the first time, so why would he give him time to throw it a
he's too
second?
fucking hurt. He's too fucking slow. There's no way he'll avoid a second one.
Wouldn't he have to put up a second stasis field after the first one?
No, the hunter can just jump up in there and throw a second one.
So he can keep the stasis
that.
field on indefinitely and just keep throwing like the ice things?
Theoretically, if the hunter is motivated enough to, he could throw so many silence and squalls, there'd be no way for you to escape. However, that would be getting into precept territory, and I'm not gonna go into precept.
Because like the way I thought the attack worked is that like he throws a stasis, then he throws like an ice bomb, and he throws after the attack is
what
over.
happened earlier was that you offered a counter, so I argued the grenade, so that anytime the hunter sees an interruption in silence and squall, the grenade is just there as a buffer.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he could logically, so basically lore-wise, he could keep the stasis field up as long as he wants.
Yes. He can just keep throwing silence and squall after silence and squall.
Oh. Oh, the stasis field has no time limit in lore. It just want to like make sure that it has like no time limit, like the stasis field.
Okay. So first off, no, it's not like some infinite, unlimited thing or whatsoever. The hunter's gonna have to constantly apply stasis. It just take a long time for your character to get out, even if he put in his hardest.
So he does have to like continuously apply stasis.
Yeah, it's just the first comma is gonna basically end the fight because your character is gonna die over time to stasis.
Does stasis on its own damage the opponent?
Yes, this is independent of guns.
Oh, stasis on its own damages you already, and then the ice thing just does extra damage.
Yeah, okay, let me put it to you this way. I'm throwing a silence and squall at like a boss enemy, and then after that I'm whipping out my heavy weapon and I'm just doing stack damage. That's like the worst case scenario here.
Oh, it's stack damage. I just thought the stasis field held you in place.
No, okay, look. The first comma is thrown, you get frozen. The second one is thrown. That summons an ice tornado. That freezes and shatters you till you eventually die. There's no, like, oh, I'm gonna summon this fucking area of effect shield or something like I'm Dio using time stop. It's not that. It's just I jump in the air or I don't, and I throw my commas. There's no stasis field or whatsoever. It is the first comma has such a wide area of effect that your character would just be frozen.
Oh, he doesn't need to use the stasis field to throw the commas? He can just throw the commas on their own? Did that cut off again?
No, we can hear you. It's just nothing.
Okay. Okay. So he can throw the commas on their own, basically?
No, he can't hear you, though. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, nothing, we can't hear you.
Oh.
Nothing.
Nothing. You're living up to your name. You're not saying anything. Speak.
Oh, it's Mike. Okay, I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay, I'm gonna disconnect him. He should be good when he comes back because he's not sick. I think. Oh, he's back.
Hey, is it
There.
working?
Okay, he's back.
Yeah, it's
Good,
working.
good, okay. Yeah,
Okay,
sorry
he's
about that. Okay, no, the hunter doesn't need to pull up a field or anything. It's just a hunter jumps, he throws the combos. Anything else, he would be stacking on to the Silence and Squall Super.
Oh, I get like what you're saying. So we can like, so the attacks can be separated essentially.
But yeah, it's just he's throwing two combos that do two different things, but are both stasis.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Or even if like he didn't
Okay.
use like the stasis, he could still use the ice thing to freeze him.
Yeah, the Glacier Grenade's a buffer if like he doesn't use Silence and Squall. And if he doesn't use Silence and Squall, he'll just use a stasis ability, like the Shurikens. And it'll do the same shit.
It'll do the same at the stasis thing.
It'll do the same thing as Silence and Squall, yes. You get hit by the Shuriken, you get froze. That's it.
Nuclear anomaly could just break out of the regular ice though.
We just had this discussion earlier. It's not going to work against stasis. Stasis freezes it.
Not stasis, I meant like the regular ice as well.
No, it's all stasis. It's literally all stasis, bro. I don't know how there's a disconnect here. No. It's all stasis. A stasis subclass. Stasis abilities. I throw a shuriken, your ass is froze. I throw Silence and Squall, your ass is froze. I throw the grenade, your ass is froze. That's it.
Oh,
It's all stasis.
I just like you said ice at one point. So
No. Okay, so stasis works the same as ice, so even if I'm saying ice, it's the same fucking thing, is the point.
You didn't clear that up the first time, so that's what you meant by
The
ice.
trailer should have. The trailer clip shows you how Stasis Hunter works.
Thought that was just ice after the stasis. So basically, ice is stasis, and they mean the same thing.
Well, Stasis is ice that can fuck with you on a subatomic level, including stopping explosions from happening.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yes. The Hunter
Okay,
applies
thanks.
Stasis to you in any way, your nuclear anomaly just won't work.
Oh, thanks. I need that to be cleared up. I thought it was just
Okay.
regular ice.
Okay.
I thought they were just two.
Okay.
Basically, they're the same thing. Basically, they're like the same thing.
It's literally all Stasis.
Both the part of the stasis class, and they're the same thing.
Yes. The grenade, the super, melee, whatever. It's all Stasis.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up. And he can spam the stasis if he wants to.
Yes.
Would he really spam the stasis twice if he already survived it the first time?
Yes. Why wouldn't he? If his enemy isn't dead, then he's just gonna finish him off. The MC, okay, listen, right? The MC isn't like some Superman character where he just leaves his enemies alive. No, everything just dies. That's it. Once the MC gets into a fight with you, he's gonna kill you. That's it. And he's gonna keep going until you're dead.
I mean, I know that, but would he use the same weapon that didn't work the first time? Would he switch to a different one?
He just used stasis again. Why wouldn't he? It works.
Oh, yeah, it did work to freeze him, so he wouldn't have a reason not to do it a second time. And then he just shoot him while he's in stasis.
No, the Squall's gonna finish the job.
Uh,
And then if that doesn't work, he'll just throw a second one.
would he throw it a couple of seconds after the first one ended, or right as the first one ended?
Anytime the hunter wants, really.
Crap. This is actually kind of hard.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have got
What is internet connection?
I'm not sure.
It's a concept unannounced to many people that we know frightening little about.
Can you hear?
Space internet dead or is it nothing? Internet dead.
Am I too low on sound?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. No,
You're good.
no, that's my mic being terrible. I just don't like.
Are y'all good?
Using DC on my PC too much. I'm just gonna be
Y'all good?
Yeah, I'm good now. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you
Okay.
go here, ball.
Okay, so I have one last count. So I have one last count to like the stasis thing.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up real quick. Up and need my computer's acting strange. So my line? Okay, so my last counter is like the Dream Crusher perk.
What's the Dream Crusher?
Basically means that 50% of your critical attacks won't. Wait, let me. Oh, it reduces your chance to do critical hits on the Lone Wanderer by 50%.
Do you really think doing 1 or 2 critical hits is going to matter to something like Stasis? It hits you subatomically. It's kind of just going to go through it.
I mean, like this, like a perk that prevents it from hitting you critically on that level.
Okay, your
like,
character can live for about 5 or 6 more minutes. That's not going to change Stasis murdering your character over time.
Won't he survive until like the stasis is like down, and then the hunter will have to keep applying it?
The hunter is just going to throw a second one. Yeah.
But like the thing is, once he throws the thing is, Lone Wanderer would already have him in bats before he could throw the second one, though.
No, because your character would be literally nowhere near his best. He would be moving nowhere near his top speed. He'd be nowhere near as durable, and he won't be able to output nowhere near as much force. The hunter has the time of day to kill you with a second silence and squall. You are going to be slowed, frozen, and shattered.
Except bats isn't dependent on like his physical abilities, though.
Yeah, and stasis ignores your physical abilities. It's just gonna kill you subatomically. That's it.
Except the Lone Wanderer has subatomic resistance. That's the thing.
Yeah, so is light, and stasis power nulled it.
Wait, power null? I thought it just worked on a subatomic level.
It works. Okay, it's like this. It not only works on you on a subatomic level, it's also it also power nulls your chances to escape it.
It did the ghost.
Yeah, the ghost tried to forcefully rip the MC out of stasis right away, and it just didn't work. And you already agreed that lightning obviously works on a subatomic level, so.
You meant light, right? Not lightning.
No, arc is one part of the light. The light can channel the power of the sun, the void, and lightning. All of which work subatomically. Stasis just flat out ignores the light, and you're just gonna get frozen.
But not just attacking on a subatomic level, it's also negging you on that level.
Yeah, and you're being frozen too. You're being frozen. You may as well call it ceiling hacks.
Dang. This worked on way more levels than I thought it did.
I'm not arguing like 5 or 6 layers of bullshit or anything. It's just
No, you're
Stasis
not.
is
I'm just
powerful
saying
enough
it's...
to work on the light. Is all.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying you. I'm just
Okay.
saying this works on a lot of I thought it was literally just like freezing in place and then second freezing, but it does all this other extra stuff that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Stasis is a lot.
And this is just one ability.
Dude, it took Bungie 8 months to rein it back into place gameplay-wise. With Beyond Light launched.
This does sound like it would be gameplay breaking.
It was gameplay breaking for like a whole 8 months. Bungie literally had to nerf it like 8 or 9 times, and even then, now it's in a perfect place.
Okay, so wouldn't
But that's like
energy
gameplay,
resist?
though.
Okay, but wouldn't energy resistance resist like neg though?
No, because the light also has resistance from energy attacks. The light and dark are the same thing. Stasis is darkness.
Yet it negged his resistance.
Yeah, stasis just flat out ignores shields, more or less. Protection, blah blah blah.
Ow.
Because it's an intrinsic trait.
So even if he would have like survived the first few, he would just keep spamming them
Yeah,
because they work.
because they work. Remember, the MC is the playable character. I could give you all the in-character arguments in the world, and it'd just be like bunk because it's a playable character. You literally can play the game however the hell you want.
Technically, you can play it like him however you want because like he's a player character.
Yeah.
Not the same with the Lone Wanderer. Well, in that case, I'm gonna just like concede because it's not really much I can do here.
Okay. You know, it would have been a lot nicer if I wasn't fucked over.
Hey man,
I wouldn't have even used stasis in the first place. It's just I've had to wait a whole 3 weeks for something you wanted to do and not me. That's like the only reason why I even argued stasis at all.
to be fair, I did want to like use the more powerful abilities first because like you have something like this that's kind of like is kind of cool, really. I did not expect this. I expected a lot, but not this.
Mm-hmm.
Big topic either way, but
Oh, so like good. So like that was actually a good play though. Fanabe. Nice job with that.
You're stupid.
Honestly, I had like a whole bunch of guns and like a whole bunch of stuff because I was trying to go into this thing about, oh, I want to do like this post-apocalyptic gunslinger match, but it's like I got fucked over for like 3 weeks, so I kind of wasn't really in the mood for that anymore.
I apologize for that. Some stuff came up.